Hey everyone, Joe Fox here, President at Growave. I'm excited to announce another episode of Retain, Grow, Thrive. Today we have a very, very special episode for you. I'm joined by our leader, our founder, someone I'm lucky to have in my life as a close mentor, our CEO, Eldar Galiev. I'm very excited today. Eldar and I are gonna dive into a couple of big announcements that we're having at Growave on just a business front, an advisory front, and also quite a few updates on what we're doing with products. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the man who I wouldn't be here without, Eldar Galiev. Hey, Eldar, how you doing?
Good, Joe. Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the kind words. I like it that
Of
you with
course.
us.
Of course. Yeah, no, you deserve them, my friend. So super excited for today. Obviously, today is a very special day for us for GrowWave. It's the day that we've announced our advisory board. So I definitely want us to kind of dive into that, how those relationships have came about, what we envision for the advisory board. And while I've got you, I really want us to kind of dive into the product side of things quite a bit. I know we've got a lot of incredible updates that we're doing on a POS front, on a Klaviyo front, as well as just general kind of updates to the product. So I definitely want to dive into that as well. But yeah, thank you for coming on board and thank you for supporting the vision with this podcast.
Yeah, well, I think it's one of the great things that we are doing right now. And podcasts, I think it's we are launching at the right time, especially when we do so many things. And I guess when you do like so many launches on the product level, on the marketing level, and I guess the main thing is distributing this information. And you're doing really great job with this great guest. So. I'm really honored to be here, to be one of the first one launching this podcast with you.
Thank you so much, Elder. Much appreciated. So in regards to, we spoke about quite a few things going on. I think one that, you and I are very particularly proud of is the advisory board that we've just launched, literally an hour ago, this morning. So can we dive into that a little bit more? I think I'd like to, just dive into the individuals, chat a little bit about them and all of the cool things that they're doing. So let's start with an easy one because both you and I have spent quite a lot of time with Steph Lu, and we'll kind of go in that sequence. But what were your sort of first thoughts when you met Steph? I know that you two hit it off really well when you met in Austin in your first visit in the US a couple of years ago. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I remember the day we had a delicious sushi in a very amazing, beautiful place in the center of Austin, and when we are talking with Steph, she thinks so fast, and it was really incredible. Just taking a look and understanding how she solves the problems, how she can easily zoom out and see what's happening in the world, what's happening with her company, market, and what's really important for her. And it was really amazing just to see and learn how she can easily zoom out and think, ahead, plan things ahead. And it's really amazing to be, a company having this brightest mind in our advisory board.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think from my side, one of the things, I'm lucky to have became friends with, Steph when I soon first moved to Austin, a few years ago now, and I feel like Steph's almost like a little sister in a way to me. I feel like we're constantly, kind of looking out for each other and helping each other out. And I think what she has built, alongside the team at Levitate Foundry is just amazing. And she's got such a cool team. They work on such cool projects. I mean, selfishly, I'm a big Drake fan, even though a lot of people probably aren't anymore. But I really like, the cool projects that they work on and the brands that they're associated with. And I think having her, as one of the key members of the board is very
Mm.
exciting. I think fading into, that kind of Austin side of things, obviously Rachel Jacobs is someone that's, a powerhouse. I think the communities that she's built and the absolute strength that she brings to the agency community is very impressive. I mean, you've caught up with Rachel a few times in person now. I'm very jealous that I didn't get to catch
Yeah.
up with you guys when you're in Europe. But what are your thoughts on Rachel and the strength she brings to the board?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say like it's enough to have like a very short conversation with Rachel to have understanding that how many things she solve in the market. She always knows what's happening, and she always knows how to build right things, what's right for the company at this stage. And I think it's a really great asset for our advisor board, just having the person who understands all ins and outs of all e-commerce, all the agency world. And when the person connecting so many amazing agencies, tech partners, brands, be her big, a huge community, and talk just even talking not about like all this network and so on, but I would say like she's really a humble person, and it's really amazing just to have like talking things not related to work at all. So especially when you go to her events, you can see this vibe, how everyone involved for things happening, how they think beyond of just of their work. And I think it's really great and amazing to work and have a chance to work closer with Rachel.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, not only is she incredible, same as Steph, same as everyone on this board, really. It's like not only are they all incredibly talented individuals, but they're all great people. So it makes the whole experience a lot more exciting and it's good. And I think, them being shareholders and advisors is just incredible. Um, on that note, I want to dive into Brendan, who from Anzan, who I've personally known since like 2012. We grew up in the same hometown back when I had my agency. He launched Anzan around the same time. We've got a lot of mutual friends, back home, and we've both kind of been in this e-commerce landscape for quite some time. And I think the seeing Anzen just and Brendan just go strength to strength to strength has been incredible. So I think, that's definitely something, that's where I can talk from my side of things. But I'd love to get your input on, the journey you've had with Brendan since you met him back in Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with all things you said, and I will let just maybe a few things related to his extensive experience in email marketing, and and then is one of the leading agencies, working closely with Klaviyo and we use email marketing, and it's really amazing to have such person who understands everything related to Klaviyo, how to better utilize, how to create best performing campaigns, and especially when Growave, at Growave, we have very solid integration with Klaviyo and put a lot of efforts, investments to ensure that we have a top integration in the market, ensuring that our clients getting most out of this. So it's really amazing that working closely with Brendan, we can, significantly improve this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I mean, that Clavio relationship that they've developed, I actually spoke to Jason, the other co-founder at Anzen, Brennan's business partner, about this on the podcast um, episode, whether that's before this or after this in terms of release, I'm not sure. But I think their sheer level and knowledge of Clavio is second to none. Like it's just amazing what they've done, how much influence they've had on the product and the partnership programs over the years too is absolutely, incredible. And you and I both were on their podcast when we are at Shop Talk. The ANZ approach. I'll make sure that that's linked in the show notes as well. But yeah, just an incredible person Brendan is, and such an honor to be able to have him on the board, and of course all of the other members. So super excited for that. A bit of a full circle nostalgic moment for me, having known him for so long as well. And you know, second last, Tarbish over at Mazdrat. I I think he's such an incredible person. I think he's got such a talent. I think he's an incredible speaker and business person, and he's done so well. And for me, when we've gone through this process together, Eldar, when we were kind of shortlisting people we wanted to invite to this opportunity, I think Tarbish and Mastrat have just been such a crucial partner in this growth we've seen on the partnership side of the business. I mean, some of the deals that have been brought in are, some are really big, some are medium sized. But I think the thing that's been really cool is that Tarbish has always provided this feedback on onboarding, on product, and really given us a lot of insight from a partnerships perspective, but also from a business perspective. And I think it's really exciting to have him involved. And once again, an incredible person. And I know that you spent some time with Tarbish
Yeah.
and meet with him quite often as well. So,
Yeah, that's true. Joe, I will say like Tabish, honestly, our advisor, I guess, for many months before we officially, announcing this. As soon
yeah.
as they onboarded the first brand, he got back to us with, some feedback like what should be improved at Growave. And I would say, like, we did tons of things he said, like how we improved the analytics in Growave and so on. And, I would say, like, with Tabish, I guess it's so easy because he understands really well how products should look, work, about when we are talking about user experience, when we are talking about how we should perform. So it's really amazing when we now working officially like an advisor, and we're expecting that Tabish could be involved more into what we're building at GrowWave.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're so much more of a product person than I am. And Tarbish is definitely more of a product person than I am. So I
Yeah.
love how you two both connect over that. I think that's really cool. And I know that he's going to be invaluable, on the board as well, which is super exciting. Um, and last but not least, I this is the one person you haven't kind of met in person, but Jess Savellin, I'm so excited to have Jess on board. I think there's a few really key standout points that about Jess. There's a lot that I could mention, but I think there's a few key things that I want to talk about. And I think Jess has such a natural and incredible ability to be able to break down things that seem complicated in a way that's very simple and easy for people to understand, particularly around UI, UX, customer experience. Jess has such a, incredible resume with the brands that she's worked with, Mr. Beast brands, Feastable. She was really core and responsible for blowing those brands up into what they are today. And I think the content that she puts out is absolutely amazing. I think, she's just such a powerhouse. And I'm really excited for you to obviously meet her in person. I think you will at Editions. But yeah, I definitely knew that that was someone that we needed on the board. I think, her sheer expertise is going to help in so many ways, and a lot around product feedback, as well as Tabish, obviously. So, yeah, it's super exciting. I'm sure you're looking forward to meeting with her.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really amazing. Uh, like like listeners can see that at Growave, honestly, we do many things like independently, and especially when it comes to advisory board, I would say like Joe, you honestly played a key role here, building all those things and shaping how it should look like, work, and so on. And kudos to you, man. And then when you're saying like, is this the right person to invite to our board? We are 100% sure that it's the right decision. So I think it speaks louder than another word about the culture, about the Growave vision. And I'm really thankful for all those things and really excited what we are going to do next.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for that. I appreciate it. And once again, thank you because I think you have a very core vision of where we're headed with GrowWave. And I think what I'm able to do is really help support that. And I think you and I are very, very aligned on all of those things, which is incredibly exciting. And I think that's, a testament to what you've built, since you've built GrowWave, right? I'm a new addition. You've been there since the beginning, so it's super exciting to be a part of this journey, my friend. Um, Eldar, I want to dive in, because we try and keep these at 30 minutes. I know we've taken up a lot of time singing everyone's praises, but let's dive in a little bit around some of these product updates because this is going to really excite, I think, a lot of our customers, a lot of our agency partners, and the audience who watch this. So tell
Yeah,
me,
yeah, sure.
let's focus on three kind of core updates. I think I know what they are, but what's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first one that you want to talk to everyone about?
Yeah, sure, man. Well, thanks, limiting me up to three key updates. I can talk very long. It could be a very long monologue. We'll just talk about what we are going and what excites me. So I would say like a few key things that it's cloud integration. It's something that we are going to launch soon. Is integration with Customer Hub is something new that Cloud will launch, and we'll be ensuring that all customers can see all their points, all right information about the tiers and so on, right from Customer Hub. And one more thing is that we are working on is TikTok integration, and so allowing customers, first of all, see reviews right on the products is on TikTok. So adding more credibility and helping merchants sell more, convert better. And they honestly were thinking and doing a bit more things, especially when it comes to TikTok, like how we can leverage loyalty information. And I won't then unveil everything. Let's keep working and announce them later. And beyond all of this, we are also doing tons of improvements, and they're starting on the product level. It's what Tabish loves, like analytics, helping brands see what's happening, what's working, what's working, what's not working, how to adjust the campaigns, and also we are rebuilding all options to customize loyalty programs, allowing brands to tailor everything according to their brand voice, brand colors, and so on. So, and there's so many other things happening, and starting from like reviews, compliances with GDPR and others, integrating with Google Merchant Center, and more things. And then not sure how much time we have, but
No, no,
if you
no,
won't
no,
stop
no.
me, I can keep talking
That's why
about
I
all of
limited
them.
you to three. That's why I limited you to three because I know that there's so many. The product team is incredible. They're just working so hard, and I think the ones that you've mentioned there are just going to be so impactful for our customers and so impactful for our new customers too. I think that's the other thing that we need to talk about is what we're finding in the market at the moment, right? Like, I think we're finding this max exodus in two areas. Um, One being from some of our competitors who are priced, quite high. I think we're just the way the economic market is, the brand awareness we've developed, and the fact that people are understanding how good our product is. We're seeing this exodus from other brands that, I would say are probably not as friendly as us. I think, we keep coming back, you and I, to this. We're the friendliest retention platform, and I think we're seeing that. But also, I think what we're seeing is a lot of brands who are, you know, used to using multiple tools, and then they're not getting the data that they need out of those tools, and they're looking at ways that they can essentially combine everything into one platform and really get this kind of experience that is unified, that brings all of these tools that Growave offers into one. So I think that's, incredibly exciting, and all of the updates that you've mentioned really complement that direction that we're going in. So that's super exciting as well. And then I think another update I'd really like to talk about is we announced this yesterday, is Chris Henroten joining the team as, our head of US sales. I think that's incredibly exciting. Something that you and I kind of had spoken about extensively as we were, going into this phase of growth over the past 12 months. But I think we've really made the right decision by waiting for Chris. Essentially, I feel like he's the perfect fit to this. And I've known Chris. Oh my goodness, I think it was before I moved to the US,
Uh,
maybe one of the first times I came to the US. Yeah, so we've always stayed in touch. We have a lot of similarities in our personal lives as well, which is cool. But I've always just seen Chris as an absolute like operator. Like, he just is so good with people. He's such a good salesperson, not in the fact that he has a sales methodology as such. He's just very good at understanding the customer's problem, and then understanding what solution can help with that. And for context, Eldar, I think we discussed this, but for the audience, Chris pretty much headed up the entire revenue department for Mute Six. He's been at Google, he's been at Meta. He just has such like a valid and incredible career in the e-com and tech space, and I think you know, I think it's a testament to what you've built over the years, that he wants to actually come on board for this journey, right? Like, he sees so much value and excitement in what we're doing, and I think that's incredible. And sometimes I pinch myself about everything that's happening going on at the moment, but it's incredible that we have that talent wanting to join and complementing, Amanda, who's joined the team as well. I think we've got a great, I think we've got a great global team, but I think this US team that we're building, it's such a good culture. Everyone is top tier. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with all you said, and I think everything should be done in timely manner. And this year we are doing double down all things we do in US, hosting more events, attending in more conferences, events, and like you said, we bring to our team Chris, and it was something that I guess maybe we should do it a bit earlier, but I would say just saying like it's really amazing that we spent some time to think about this, to plan everything properly, and we are lucky that it was the right timing for Chris too. So I feel like we're very lucky with all decisions coming, and that all of them, so aligned. It was so aligned when we brought Amanda to the team, and right now we see that so many brands, US brands, in a line, and I think it's all things we're doing US. It's right. It's a right time, and it really could, help us to keep this momentum, this our expansion in US, in North America. So I'm really excited. All things we're doing, Joe. So excited what we are going to do next year. So
Yeah.
let's keep momentum.
Absolutely, absolutely, Eldar. And I think yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, we have such incredible team members and everyone's working so hard for this growth and for supporting this. And I think, it's really starting to pay off what we're seeing and the amount of inbound kind of, referrals that we're having and the people who are, coming directly to demo and just the brand awareness we've got and the enterprise merchants we're talking to. It's just such an incredibly exciting time and such an incredibly exciting team. So, yeah, very excited and very grateful for the support in everything that we're doing. Um, I wanted to touch on this one because this is a you don't know that this is coming either, but this is a question that we have been, asking all of the guests, and it's super relevant to you because you've got it'll be 3 US trips in under 12 months for you, and I think maybe potentially even a fourth. But I'd like to ask the guests because we all travel so much in this ecosystem. What is one thing that you cannot live without when you're traveling? So you can't say a
Yeah,
person, you can't say your family, because I think
okay.
everyone would say that because everyone's so enamored with their family. But what's the one thing that you can't travel without? Is it music? Is it a book? Is it
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah. I think. Well, when it comes to, obviously, I well pragmatic. I don't, I'm not fan of having a big heavy bags and so on, and I always try to minimize everything. And here's the one thing that I bring always to all my trips. It's a long distance, a short distance, whatever. It's my headphone set. So it's called GBL, and it has
Yes.
like noise cancellation thing like this. So I hate like when things too noisy, and especially in airports, in planes, or if I simply want to get a sleep, and it's really important for me to have a good sleep. So I use it every day, everywhere. So it's key important things that I bring to all my trips.
Awesome, awesome. And is it I'll dive in a little deeper because I know you've recommended me some incredible podcasts. Um, is it music you're listening to as well, or is it podcast?
Well, honestly, I listen to many things, um, and starting from podcasts, ending with music, especially and when I'm going to sleep, I have some classic music that I'm listening to just to fall asleep. So honestly, I
Nice.
listen to everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. It's interesting. A lot of people I've interviewed so far or had on the podcast, I didn't realize how into music they were. So some of the guests have like incredible vinyl collections. Some of the guests have like curated these incredible, Apple Music libraries for like 10 years. So it's really interesting. A lot of people in our space are super into that. That's a good one.
Yeah. By the way,
Awesome.
my
Well, look,
favorite
I
one
think
is
we've
Vivaldi.
sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, my favorite one is Vivaldi. It's something, it makes
Ah,
me
yes.
calm down and fall asleep.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, strangely enough, I either fall asleep to podcasts. My wife being an attorney, she's obsessed with like true crime podcasts. I don't sleep so good, as you know, so I don't like it when
Mm.
she plays those ones. Um, but what I also sometimes play is rainforest sounds, but not any
Oh,
rainforest sounds. It has to be Australian rainforest sounds. And it kind of like puts me to sleep because it reminds me of when I was
wow.
a kid and we'd have these big torrential storms on like a tin roof. And so I can hear the rain all night. So that's one of my ways of sleeping better. But yeah, it's interesting. It's good to
Yeah.
slow your mind down at night, I think. Awesome. Well, Eldar, thank you so much. I know we're going to have a lot of these podcasts, recorded and everything, and I think it's really nice it's probably a really nice thing that we can share internally, but also just kind of bringing our customers and our partners along this Growave journey with us, and letting them hear first what we're working on and what we're most excited for. So thank you so much. Thank you for being an incredible leader. Thank you for joining us on the podcast today. And I'm sure we'll talk very shortly.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Eldar. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this special episode with our CEO and founder, Eldar. All of the links that were mentioned in the show will be in the show notes. I'm very grateful that you've tuned into another episode of Retain, Grow, Thrive, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Stay tuned. Bye.